And here we are, folks.
And
Eek, we're live.
hey, it's us. Hi, us.
We're live. Brady Bunch. Look at all the squares around you.
Well, I'm having fun editing the script on the fly here. I don't remember where I was. That's where I'm in the studio.
North of the border.
Land Monkey headquarters.
That's right. That's the guards. They're watching for sketchy characters like you guys. I don't know how Jim got past the guards last time. All right. Yes, you're right, Brylang. You do see them.
Yay! Hi, us.
Oh, he's saying hi, U.S.
U.S. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're seen. And Brylang, I see you. No, isn't that a Avatar thing?
I thought it was just a wing at the hospital.
Oh. Oh, Wits End is sharp tonight. And we're not talking just mustache.
The point on my head.
He is so much more than a mustache.
Not a lot more.
Okay. Well, Wits End, I see you're opening the show tonight. So
I wonder who put that.
Well,
Audio level's good here.
Yeah. The bad cop has lost his video. I hope not.
Yeah, you keep popping in and out. It
Yeah.
changes from your QR code to your lovely, lovely face.
The QR code looks better.
It's got a smaller mustache.
Ooh.
Here's again, yeah. Like, you cut in and out.
Okay. Three Hams, I think you really like this show.
Well, this is the Three Hams episode, isn't it?
Yes. We are pandering to our audience, and he's our audience tonight.
We're panda bears.
We're pandering. Hey.
We'll see if iHam joins us. That'll be 4 hams.
Ooh. Let's Isn't he one of the 3 Hams? No?
No. Silly.
Let's get the podcast rolling tonight. You're just looking creepy there. I don't know if you're trying to look friendly. You look creepy. Okay.
I was going for creepy.
You nailed it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is it the squinting? The staring? The high five?
You know, it's stupid. You stupid. Okay. Let's kick it off. So no more talking. I'll start music, and then Wits End, you start talking.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest, the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the great Pacific Northwest. Tonight we'll talk about caches and cachers unique to this little corner of the country. So, hey, pay attention to the road and drive on to the next cache. It's time to go caching in the Northwest.
And it's time to bring in our time-traveling teammate. Some say he's good at finding caches because he's found them all in the past. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Hey, you guys. Actually, I found them in the future. I've just come back to the past.
Are you from the future?
I am. And
DeLorean?
and I do drive a DeLorean with a nuclear food processor on the back.
Mr. Fusion.
Mr. Fusion. That's the one. Hey, so we are, speaking of traveling through time, if you're going to travel through time, let's do this, Land Monkey. And if you're going to travel through time, remember to time travel safely and time travel often. So we are going to talk about hiking and geocaching safely tonight. That is going to be our wonderful topic. And we have some stories to regale you guys all with and lots of fun. So we're going to get into it.
You better believe it. Now, if you're a new listener, thank you so much for finding Caching in the Northwest. You know, it's the only podcast about geocache. I think we already said all that.
Yeah.
Now, returning listeners, you know, we love hearing from you each and every week about your favorite cache and your favorite caching locations. You know, that could be your sofa, or that could actually be, you know, out in front of a lake somewhere. But we want to hear that in your voice. So be sure to use the voicemail tool on the website and send us your favorite cache, and we will play it on the podcast soon. Your message needs to be, just about 15 seconds long. That's long enough to say your geocaching name, GC code, the name of the cache, and why you liked it. Why do we say 15 seconds? Because, you know, there are people who are shy, and it's hard for them to get that out. And if you say, well, I only need 15 seconds of you speaking, people go, I can do that. I can do anything for 15 seconds.
Go.
So, now, if you want to share more than 15 seconds, that's okay. We have a very interesting favorite cache this week. It comes from one of our listeners, 3 Hams in a Rose. So without further ado.
This is 3 Hams in a Rose calling in about one of my favorite caches in the Northwest. It's called Beachcomber, GC4ZZJR. It's by Pearlwind and Cuttlefish. It's a multi-cache, and the coordinates take you to a rock pile. And in the rock pile, you'll find an old black plastic hair comb. Looks like a dollar comb. And you think you found some garbage until you realize the cache is called Beachcomber. You look carefully at the comb, and you'll realize that a number of the tines have been snipped away. And once you figure out the correct way to hold the comb, then you just read the coordinates by counting the number of remaining tines carefully. And then it takes you off to the final, which you can only access at low tide. Lots of fun. So cache on, and thanks for letting me leave feedback.
Oh, and thanks for contributing feedback. That was awesome. And it ties into caching safely, because one of the things of caching safely is knowing your environment and knowing when high tide and low tide is. Know what the tide tables say. How about that?
That's right. That's right. And that is actually a pretty good cache. We did that with the cache owners 2 summers ago? 2 summers ago. And that was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Nice. So, did anybody say ain't nobody got time for that? See how I did that?
There were a lot of puns.
Yeah.
Kind of happens when you're caching with the monkeys. There's just a lot of puns.
You are punny people.
But it's always a good time.
Yes, well, everybody else who goes with us usually does get punished.
Ooh. Ouch.
All right. Well, hey, on that note, let's go back and look at some other feedback and leave those puns behind. We have more feedback, this time via email. It's from BMARS7391. And I don't know if you remember, but not too terribly long ago, we had some feedback from BMARS7391. And I believe I commented, gee, I can't tell from that username whether it's a he or a she. So BMARS7391 starts feedback and says, by the way, Wits End, I am a he. So thanks for that. Now I can say that he says, to answer your guys' question about the beautiful part of Utah, he said there was a beautiful part of Utah. I meant to say a beautiful Potter's Pond is up in Fairview Canyon. He says it's located about 2 hours southeast of Salt Lake City and about 3 hours northeast of St. George. I've been to both of those cities. There's some nice areas. He said there's not a part of the state of Utah that I don't find beautiful, well, except, well, maybe the West Desert. Is that an except, or is that including? I don't know.
No, I'm not sure. It doesn't say except. It says that I do not find beautiful, maybe the West Desert. So, yeah, let's throw except in there. Let's decide on BMARS 7391. We're deciding for you that you don't find the West Desert as beautiful as the rest of Utah.
But it's probably beautiful.
I've been to Utah, and it is quite a beautiful state. There are some, I don't know. Land Monkey, have you maybe found a earth cache or two there? I think there are some formations.
Yeah, we've only been to St. George. We haven't been up to Salt Lake City in Utah, but it's fun.
It's a beautiful area.
It is, and honestly, I thought that St. George was a really pretty town. And yes, we did a few earth caches there.
So, just got to throw it in there, and then we'll get back on topic. But B. Pendragon says, if the monkeys are caching with some Americans, does that make it international pandemonium?
Absolutely.
Yes, because, as I said earlier, well, actually a spin on what I said earlier, we are lovable panda bears.
Nice. But to continue on with the Three Hams episode that we're having today.
Absolutely. Well, we have more audio feedback, and this is, surprise, it's from Three Hams and a Rose. And this is some excellent caching safety advice. And by the way, we should also once again mention that he did use the voicemail tool from the website, and we would encourage all of you to check out the voicemail tool on the right-hand side. I believe there's a tab on the right-hand side of the website. Just click on that, and it makes it super easy for you all to send us your caching stories. We love to hear your caching stories. So, speaking of which, let's hear Three Hams caching safety story.
Hey, Caching in the Northwest folks. Three Hams and a Rose here with some advice to pass on. And that would be, if you take people geocaching with you, make sure that they're actually geocachers and not just random hikers. Why do I say this? Well, this past weekend in the Metro Vancouver area, 14 of us were going to get together to do a day-long hiking caching excursion. I agreed to pick up 2 caches at a transit station. I arrived there early morning and there's 5 people with backpacks on, not just 2. Okay, well, whatever. I guess someone brought some friends along. Everybody climbed in my van, threw their backpacks in the back, and away we went. We've been going along for about 5 minutes when one of the strangers receives a text message from a friend saying, "Where are you guys? We're waiting for you." Hey, what do you know? These 3 people don't belong with us. They're a different bunch of hikers, just assuming that we were their ride. Crazy. Turned around, took them back to the transit station, suggested that they sign up on geocaching.com, and away they went. Good job they left us, because it turned out they wanted a completely different mountain range to us. So, remember, in future, make sure you're picking up geocachers and not just strange random hikers.
Oh,
Good.
how funny is that?
You like that story? I love that story. That's just so. It's one of those things that it just makes a great story you can tell over and over again. And I mean, what are the odds of you're picking people up? You are planning to pick people up at a SkyTrain is, for those who don't know, SkyTrain, that's our light rail transit in Vancouver. So you're picking somebody up at the busy transit station, and they saw some other people with backpacks and thought, oh, that must be our group, and we'll just climb into this stranger's van because hey, what could happen? It wasn't a panel van with the windows blacked out. So.
Oh, funny.
Three Hams and a Rose probably said sorry.
Well, we've met him. We've had a meal with him. He's a very nice guy, so I don't think there would be much hesitancy on somebody's part to jump into the van with him.
Hardly creepy at all.
Right. Don't do that.
No more than any other geocachers.
Wow. Hey, thank you, Three Hams, for sending in that feedback, and we want to thank all you listeners. In September, we had a huge increase in listenership, so thank you. Be sure to tell your fellow geocachers or random hikers about our little show. We surely would appreciate it. So, gentlemen, how has your week been? Have you had a chance to get out and do any geocaching?
Well, you know how Three Hams was talking about that trip with that hiking trip with 14 other geocachers. Well, that 2 of those 14 wow, that took me a really long time to do that math. 2 of those 14 were Mrs. Lamb Monkey and I. So we were out last Sunday doing a big hike. It's called the Whiskey Loop in the Golden Years Park. And the 2 COs for all the caches that are on the Whiskey Loop, I think there's 37 caches that they have up there. About 12 to 14 kilometer loop. But a heck of a hike up to get started on the loop. I think if I remember correctly, it was something like an equivalent of 120 flights of stairs to get up to the starting point. So it was a good hike. but anyways, yeah, so we did that. Had a great time. Thanks to the two COs for leading that adventure that day. That was a lot of fun. Brylang was out there as well. So a few of our regular listeners. Yeah, there's Brylang saying I was there. Yep, he was. Had a great time. And I also want to send a special shout out to Three Hams, but in particular, the Rose, because on the previous day, Mrs. Land Monkey and I on Saturday were in their general neighborhood working on a caching series called Thanks for the Magic, Harry Potter themed caching series. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. And one of the caches is at a transit station, a SkyTrain transit station, and apparently it just gets moved around a lot. And we were stuck, and I don't know if anybody who follows me on Instagram may have seen the selfie I posted in a fluorescent safety vest, but I figured I'd go incognito, so I put on the bright orange fluorescent safety vest, and the hundreds of passerbys didn't give us a second look, because clearly if we're wearing a vest, we must need to be poking around.
Doesn't that make very cognito?
Yeah, I suppose.
You actually stand out.
Yes. Well, you
Hiding
would
in
think so, but no, we didn't. So, sorry, what were you going to say?
He's hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. So that was a lot of fun. But we just could not find this darn thing. So knowing that Three Hams had found it, well, actually, no. He saw the photo of us on Instagram that we were there at Ground Zero and texted me. And then we were texting back and forth, and I said, okay, where am I? In fact, there was a couple of other local cachers who saw the Instagram and said, "Oh, you're too far west," which is very helpful. But we did eventually find it. But we found it with help from Three Hams, who showed up because the Rose was generous enough to stop on their way back home from the pumpkin patch and make a pit stop to help the land monkeys find a geocache, which was really, really nice. And so special thanks to the Rose for putting up with us silly geocachers.
Truly a rose between three hams.
Yes. Anyway, so that was lots of fun adventures. Had a great time. How about you, Bad Cop?
Well, I'm still working on that cache, my finds calendar, filling out the finds calendar, so that's going on. However, Wits End and I got out to the Auburn GeoCoin Challenge 2015 this past weekend. And, that was an incredible event.
I saw some periscoping from that.
Wasn't by me, but it must have been by others.
Okay, I was pretty sure that
was it by me?
The
Periscope?
The evening before the event.
Oh yes, on Friday night.
Yeah.
The kickoff to the event. That was a very nice. And Auburn is relatively close to me, and I thought, well, we've talked to Peach and Pete here on the show, episode 112, so 5 weeks ago, and it was nice to meet them. I was able to put a little extra swag into the raffles, so it was a lot of fun.
Got a little extra swagger in your raffles this week.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bad Cop puts the swag in swagger.
It's because I drive around in a swagger wagon.
There you go.
Anyway.
You're silly.
Yes, I am.
But you got swag.
Well, and we got a new coin.
Yeah, thanks for posting the photo of that coin. That is a really nice coin.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
do they still have them available? Like if people go down there to do that video tour?
Yeah.
You do it. Print out
Go
the puzzle sheet from the website and go find all the ones. Yeah.
So, they had. Okay, so they went to the Tourism Bureau and the Parks Department and asked for $1,000 to get everything started, and they ended up getting $3,500. They said, "We love this idea," so they went and got a really nice coin minted, 200 of these coins. And Saturday, we got to talk with Peach afterwards when we turned in. What were we, Wits End? We were really low.
We were numbers 8 and 9, I believe, of
Yeah.
Wow. Congrats.
Thanks. And we weren't, we weren't pushing the envelope to get these done. So she said there was 115 people that had signed the log that day, which is a bigger turnout than any other GeoCoin challenge or Geo Tour in their first year. That's better than Mount Vernon or the Tri-Cities so.
115. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, she was very pleased.
That's awesome. Well on their way to mega status.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're going to do it again next year then?
Yes, they will do it again next year.
And in the meantime, this year's coin is still available until supplies run out, I guess.
Exactly. So what I would do is go to the City of Auburn's webpage, look there for geocaching. That will tell you how to download the passport and get everything you need to get going. There you go. Wits End has a picture of the log there.
Yeah, that's the people that attended. So, well-attended event, very fun. And there's the coin for those of you that are watching the video feed. So, very good.
So Auburn was founded by rail. Rail is the major part of Auburn's raison d'etre, reason to be. So, let's see. I saw something here.
Are you looking over in the Q&A?
I am. Says, did you find the Auburndale 2 cache? Well, no.
No, we did not. There were 20 geocaches in the Auburn GeoCoin Challenge when we left City Hall that morning. And we headed south. Other people, there was no specific order to find them in, as often the case. So we headed to the far southeast and grabbed a couple down there, and we're wandering around. And I actually chatted with IHAM on the radio a little bit there. And he said, hey, when you get to Auburndale 2, be careful where you park. Pay attention to the description, I believe is what he told me. And before we ever got up there, we ran into some other cachers that said, hey, did you see the message that one cache is disabled? Apparently, Auburndale 2 was on either, I didn't ever get up there, so I don't know for sure, but it's either on private property or it was very close to private property and people were parking and traipsing across private property, but there were some local residents that were not very happy and were quite verbal about their unhappiness. Let's just leave it at that. And so Peach and Pete did the responsible thing and disabled that cache, emailed everybody that had said we'll attend, and they just gave people credit for that specific location if you weren't able to get up there. So the early birds that headed to the northeast and got that one first probably got all 20. Technically, we got 19 out of 20, but that one was not accessible. So.
Right. Well, that's cool the way that the hosts of the event handled that as soon as they found out that there was an issue, that they disabled the cache, sent a message out right away. I think that's really responsible. So that says a lot.
Yeah.
And we saw several listeners at the event. In fact, Hubadub7 is in the chat room right now saying he was there. I was there. And Die Monkey. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sprouter.
Yeah.
And we saw Rock Chalk there from Groundspeak.
Cool.
So, or I'm sorry, geocaching.com now. That's going to be a hard one for me to break that habit.
And we chatted and cached on the trail with Buddy and Kitsy Meow that we talked about the podcast, and they said they may be watching tonight. So welcome if you're out there.
Cool. Buddy and Kitsy Meow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is a feline-sounding geocaching name. Do they like cats?
How can you not like cats? They're delicious.
Tastes like chicken.
Everything.
And much easier to catch.
But cats or chickens?
Cats.
Any animal living people out there, I am kidding. Get that out right now.
There you go. Before we get spammed by PETA.
Exactly.
I was looking in the Q&A. There's a bit of a discussion around the high-vis vests. Wet Coaster, and oh, hey, shout out to Wet Coaster. Thank you for the monkey sticker that you gave me, Timmy.
Nice.
Timmy the monkey. That was awesome. Thank you, man. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out to Bad Cop right now. When you select one of the questions for us to read, I can't see it anymore. It disappears off my screen.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Let me read that. It says the high visibility safety vest works for me all the time. Nobody pays attention unless they're coworkers.
Hmm.
And then they want Brylang wants to know where you can find one in the Lower Mainland, and Three Ham says Walmart about $9.
There
I
you
was
go.
going to throw in there's another place in the Lower Mainland. I think it's called Ackland's warehouse or supply or something like that. It's not the normal Ackland's that you would go to buy like actual construction equipment and stuff, but it's on the Langley bypass. It's where the sports traders used to be on the Langley bypass. So if you know the area, you know exactly where I'm talking about. And it's a clearance center now, and you can get all kinds of construction gear and safety gear super dirt cheap. So that's another place.
Nice. Brylang says bad wits end. Bad.
Funny.
And he also says, why would PETA spam you? He only cares about Katniss anyway.
I
It's
don't get it.
Hunger Games reference.
Oh, a book
I
and
have
movie I have not bothered to participate in.
Here's something I did not know. This one comes from B. Pendragon. It says Auburn was originally called Slaughter. Slaughter, Washington.
Really? Now, why
Auburn
would,
seems much more friendly.
Yes. Very much.
is Auburn slaughter in another language?
I have no idea. But that was news to me. Bryling really wants a coin. Too bad Auburn is so far away. Yes, but, there'll be one next year. And maybe you could come down for another reason and knock that out. We were done in about, 5 hours?
Yeah, something like that. Like I said,
4 hours. About 4 hours. I was hoping to get done in 3, but we ended up having to travel too far to do that.
So from here in the Lower Mainland, if you left early in the morning, you could do it in a day.
Mm-hmm.
you could.
Where do you get the coin when you're done?
Now City Hall.
So are they open on the weekends?
Well,
You have to
the
look at
form
the-
that we filled out, you fill it out and mail it in, and they would mail it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you have to look at the passport and see their hours. They're listed there on the passport.
Good to know.
Yes.
And there's no block party next summer to come down for, so, come
So
down
you're
and
free.
get some
So just keep driving.
Yeah.
All right. I see that Three Hams in a Rose also made a comment that the Rose is smiling on the couch right now, enjoying her glass of wine, playing Plants vs. Zombies, and basking in our praise.
Oh, very nice.
I hope she's having a lovely evening, and I don't know why she's listening to this.
Maybe Three Hams is not giving her a choice.
It
If
could
you
be.
want to be in the room, you're listening to this.
Three Hams, put your headphones on. You're bugging your wife.
So B. Pendragon says it was originally named after Lieutenant William Slaughter. So there you go. Now,
That'd be a great name for like that.
for like a sniper.
Yeah.
Sniper Slaughter. We do have so much fun in the Q&A, but we have a topic we need to talk about.
We do?
Yeah,
This week's topic, Q&A. Oh, wait.
we should do an all Q&A show.
There you go.
Except we can't call it randomized because I think there's a copyright on that.
There's a copyright on that.
How about random ears?
Oh, random fingers, because it's what's typing in the Q&A. Ooh, that's creepy.
I believe we were talking about what? Hiking safely.
Caching safely.
All right.
There we go. So let's shall I bring us back on track? Shall I stammer some more?
Your assigned duty, I believe.
All right. Well, let's jump back over here into the script. That was fun though. That was a lot of fun just spending some time in the Q&A with you guys. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being on there. So yeah, let's talk a little bit more about hiking safely. And Wits End, thinking about what time of year it is, and that
Getting,
we talked
getting cold.
before. That's that sort of transition, fall season
Yeah.
in the Northwest. Any thoughts you want to throw out there to start us off with?
Well, it's getting a little chilly out there, getting colder this time of year. So be prepared for that. We went back, if you go back and listen to our episode, we talked to the search and rescue folks. They listed the essentials that you should have at any season. But when it's getting to be this time of year that it's going to be chilly out there. So make sure you prepare for cold weather. And, even though it's colder out there, you always need to bring water. Water is one of those essentials at any time of year. In the wintertime, though it may be even it's a little stormy, the air is often drier, and you need to stay hydrated. Hydration is so important.
It really is. And I think the other thing I'd throw out there is it's a Northwest standard. And I would think all of our listeners know it, but hey, it never hurts to reinforce it. And it is one of the 10 essentials from the North Shore Search and Rescue guys. And that is layers. Layerable, breathable clothing. Because especially, again, like we're saying, this time of year, it is just so tricky because we had the same thing that happened on Sunday when we were hiking up in the mountains, that it starts off cold, then you get warm, then you start sweating, and then it gets cold again in the evening. So you've got to be able to manage those layers and not, the goal is sweat as little as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to focus for the hot time and end up being cold and wet in the morning or in the afternoon. So, yeah, dress in layers. Be prepared.
Yeah.
This
funny,
is one
that's
of the
why I
things.
go to work, too.
Oh,
To sweat as little as possible.
As little as possible. Oh, then you're probably not going to buy my my new geocaching exercise DVD.
Well, that's
What's
not
that?
work, though.
Sweating with the caches?
Sweating with the monkeys.
Sweating
With the monkeys.
Right. Just
Nice.
one more cache. There's always just one more cache.
Of course there is.
All right. Hey, one other thing that we always try and remind you guys to do is to use your GPS or your smartphone to mark a waypoint wherever you've left your car or your trailhead if you took transit. Know your way out so that you can always find a way back out. Don't depend on the tracks on your GPS or your phone, because two reasons. First off, they're not always super accurate, depending upon the frequency of how often it's waypointing your tracks. And secondly, as I've learned with our Garmin, sometimes your tracks just mysteriously disappear because the buffer fills up and they overwrite. So, yeah, just use a waypoint, mark a waypoint.
Yeah, they use cyclical writing to those. They only have so many tracks, and if you pass that, those old ones disappear and new ones come in. There are so many apps to mark your car on your smartphone. If you're doing that, you mark your parking place. Yeah, just do that. Or use whatever geocaching app you have to drop a pin there. Remember.
Drop that pin like it's hot.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially if you've got a long hike ahead of you. Whether you need to have a long hike ahead of you or not, it's important to mark your car. The three of us, had a grand time at another GeoCoin challenge not very long ago, didn't we?
Yes, we
It's Mount Vernon. So, as I recall, we were having a grand time and driving up. What was the name? Little Mountain or Little? There was a
think it's
hilly.
Big Little Mountain, yeah. The big cache
Little
at
Mountain.
Little Mountain. The one we should have found and we didn't. But, yeah.
Yeah, it was quite wooded. It was one of those areas, if you look at the aerial Google Maps, it just looked like a bunch of trees. There's no roads visible. So it wasn't very obvious how to get up there. But thankfully, I was in the back seat of the Land Monkey's vehicle, and he can find anything. And off we went, and we drove up.
As long as he knows how many meters he has to turn.
That's right.
Yes.
You can't tell him how many yards or how many feet. But if
Actually,
he has
you can't tell me
meters,
yards because they're basically the same as a meter, so I can figure that out. But if you tell me in feet, we're hosed.
So we pull up to this cache, probably I'm going to say 50 feet from the car, because Land Monkey will have no idea how far that is.
Stop that.
And and there was another family there finding the log or pulling the cache out from under a stump or something of that nature. And we kind of thought, gosh, I wonder where they parked. I don't see any other cars around. And they looked up equally as surprised, thinking, gosh, who drove up here? Because we just hiked. They hiked a long way up the other side of the mountain, not knowing that there was a road there.
Yeah.
And why is it they didn't know there was a road there?
Well, one of rule number 15, I believe it is, in the Land Monkey rule book, never take directional advice from somebody riding a lawnmower.
That's correct. Rule number 15.
They had, like I said, it was really hard to see on the map exactly the best route up there, and they had come from the other side of the mountain. Somebody was out on a piece of property on a riding lawnmower, and they described where they wanted to go, and they said, oh, yeah, go right over there. So they did. And I think they hiked an hour up over that hill to get there, and they didn't need to. So thankfully, the Land Monkey caching mobile seats many people, and we were able to, squeeze a few more in than we had intended to start off with that morning, and give them a ride back to their car, so they didn't have to make the hour hike back down to that. Well,
Yeah,
I think
back there.
go ahead.
And they had a little girl with them.
Yeah.
Who was what, 5?
About that age.
5 to 7.
Yeah.
I think
And
she was pretty tired. I think she was pretty much done.
He was, yeah, and Mom made the comment about, yeah, we tell our daughter not to get into cars with strangers, and here we are with people we don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Looks like there's a theme tonight about getting into cars with strangers.
Yes, there is.
I think the next fishing outing we got
at home.
rescue somebody else in between caches in your cache mobile on a different expedition.
Well, we seem to do that a lot.
You do. Good thing you have a great caching.
Another topic or another theme that's come up tonight is, when you're using a GPS to guide you between caches, it doesn't always take you to the closest spot.
No.
Right? So they were using their GPS to guide them, and it, took them as close as it could get, and then you hike that far. Okay. We found in the Auburn Cache Machine, or in the Auburn Geocoin Challenge, that several times it would take us to a park, but it took us to like the entrance of the park, not closer where we could drive up, get out of the car, get it. This often happens, and that's part of the problem with that Auburndale 2 cache, is they were the GPS took you to a place where you actually had to cross private property to get to it, where if you'd gone to the other end of the park, you could walk in with no problem. So, that being said, if you're using a smartphone or a car navigation unit, take a look around and make sure that this really is the closest spot.
That's good advice, absolutely. We found something similar, actually, when we did the Spokane Geo Tour. There was a cache. It's on the John Wayne Trail. And the reality of that one, and if you read the cache description, it is like a 2-mile hike to the cache from where you're supposed to park. Now, people who've been having lunch with us a few weeks ago are going to laugh when I say, in our defense, because I've apparently used that phrase a lot, but when we loaded the waypoints for the Geo Tour, it was just the cache waypoints. It didn't have the additional waypoints in the Pocket Query, the one that we downloaded off the website, and we were amongst the first. That was the first weekend that Spokane Geo Tour is out. Love the Spokane Geo Tour. Anyways, or Spokane History Geo Tour. That's shit. But on the John Wayne Trail, which is the furthest one south on that series, when you go to do that one, there actually shows a road on your map that runs right up along the side and takes you almost right to where the geocache is. And then there's another road that comes in off of a different angle, and it looks like that road takes you right there to the cache. Well, the second road actually is somebody's driveway. Ooh. So you can't do that. The first The first road is a private road, and there's a sign at the front of it that's kind of almost falling apart and it's hard to read, but it says private drive. So you shouldn't take that. You should figure out where the parking cords are and hike the 2 miles into the cache is what you're supposed to do. But, again, bad cop to your point, it looks like you can just drive right up to it. That's what my car GPS says. I can just drive right up to it. So it's, again, I think really what you said is just be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, I recently, it's almost been a year ago, maybe more, did the Flaming Geyser cache right here in Washington State.
Mhm.
And, free state park day, great. Let's drive up there. And there's a gate that's open past the parking lot. I start down there, and a ranger looks at me funny, like, what are you doing? I'm driving on a road, and you've opened the gate. And then once I come to the gate, then I see there's a sign on the gate that says, authorized vehicles only. But with the gate open, you don't see it. Like, okay, I'll park here. But same idea, there's a road. I'm in a car. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the bad cop.
Yeah,
saying.
well,
How much more authorized can you get?
he was
That's
a bad
right.
ranger, and he won.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so ranger beats bad cop. This is like paper, rock, scissors.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Spock. Okay.
Right. So, hiking safety, we're getting into cold weather. Take water, take layers, and don't always trust your GPS.
And always
So
waypoint
there's-
your vehicle.
Waypoint your vehicle. And don't necessarily get into cars with strangers, unless it's helpful.
Unless they're the land monkeys, then you can get in.
Yeah, well, land monkeys are strange, but they're safe.
Yeah, you don't get much stranger than us.
I love
Right.
it. So,
So-
gentlemen,
Yes.
feel free. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask if there was anything else we wanted to cover tonight, or if we think we've got a wrap on this. And on that, I was going to suggest that maybe an idea for a future episode on a similar theme would be what's in your pack.
Ooh.
And maybe all you cool, awesome listeners out there can send us some audio or email us or whatever social media engine works best for you, and tell us, what do you carry in your geocaching pack?
I love it. I like shows like that. Yeah, so give us your ideas of what you carry in your geocaching pack. Is it a Camelback or a hydration pack? Let us know that too.
Is it a really cool OGO vest?
Ooh. Well, not everybody has a really cool vest.
Yeah, just saying. Oh,
Olymp-
that's another tagline. I can't use that. All right, never mind. I didn't say that. All right. Hey, so anything else, guys, we want to throw out there around caching safely? Or we think we got it covered for tonight?
Yeah, I think for hiking, yeah, we got to
There's
cover.
probably
Mark your car.
could say, but we've done an adequate job, I believe, for the time we have tonight.
There you go. So yeah, and folks, remember to always check out that list of the 10 essentials.
Yeah.
North Shore Rescue definitely has it on their website, but you can find it in our previous episodes as well. So guys, with all that, where can our listeners find you on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, which I really kind of like. All those are Caching NW. Just look for that. You're going to find me. Wits End, what about you?
And likewise, I'm Wits End on Twitter, on Facebook, on Periscope, on LO, on Geocaching, on many, many other places. Search for the Wits End, the end of wits, at your wits' end. And Land Monkey, you have a little variety in yours, I believe.
Yeah, just to be different. So you can find us primarily at our website, which is landmonkey.blogspot.ca. However, if you want to follow some of our silliness live, you can always check for us on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope. We are at LandMonkeyGC. On Facebook, we're Team Landmonkey. On YouTube, we're Landmonkey. Search YouTube for Landmonkey, and we have started posting videos again. Yay! And the next video we post will be our official episode 100.
Ooh.
How very cool. Are you throwing a party?
Sure.
Is it done with puppets?
That's what's
No,
up.
but it should have been.
Right.
Because every 100th episode of anything should be done with puppets.
That's right.
And if you
Hey.
don't know what we mean, never mind.
Go back and watch our 100th episode. You'll get a kick out of it. Our research department has been busily working away, and we have some more great shows lined up for you, including one we just came up with tonight, What's in Your Geocaching Pack? So send an email to feedback@cachingnw.com with the contents of your geocaching pack. If you want to, send a picture. It'd be great if you use the feedback tool on the website to send us audio, and you can describe what's in your geocaching pack, because we can't speak well. And maybe you speak better than we do.
We talk good.
We
We're
know
good
talk good like them. If you have ideas for other shows and topics, please let us know, and we want to check those out.
Absolutely. So once again, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. And remember that you can be a part of the show if you call 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask a question, send us a free geocoin any time of the day or night. We will always accept free geocoins. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Also, your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you liked this show, please click the PayPal button on the cachingnw.com website. The show is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2015 by Chris Umpenauer.
All right, another one in the books.
Good night, all.
Everybody, everything.
Okay, well,
Did you try to start the show over?
I thought I was stopping, and I started, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Stopping and starting.
Display driver has stopped responding. Would that be bad? Yeah.
You're still
And with that, we've lost Wit's End. He's just simply walked away.
had enough of you guys.
Folks, thank you so much tonight for all the good Q&A, and my display driver just blanked out again. That's interesting.
Maybe that's why you've been going to logo instead of face.
It's just started once I stopped, well, the recorder, which is a completely separate electronic device.
It started once you stopped.
I don't know what's going on. Let's see. B Pendragon says, an easy conversion, 3 meters equals 10 feet, approximately. 3 Ham says he can't use his headphones. His younger son has stolen them. I think since you're in the same house, that's borrow without intent to return.
Right.
3 Hams also says this episode was hosted by Richard Simmons.
Fortunately, it was not, but yeah.
Yeah.
That might be a little intense.
Let's see. Stranger in the Night. Weird by day, but Stranger in the Night.
That's a good caching name.
That's
A little
I
long.
have.
Caching.
I love it. I'm Stranger in the Night. Yes, you are. Okay, so B Pendragon says, #1 rule of caching in the wilderness safely. Stay at home with a cup of insert favorite hot beverage here. Actually, just play it smart. If you ask, are you following common sense, and can't immediately answer yes, take a moment to rethink your decisions. Sit at home. Take a hot beverage. Rethink your life. I added that last part.
I don't know about the whole thing of questioning your decisions, because if I did that, I probably wouldn't. I'd only find about half as many geocaches as I found.
Exactly. Is this a smart idea? Yeah, let's go for
No,
it.
but I'm still going to do it.
I think part of it is I often stop and think, do I want to be in the headlines doing this?
I do stop and think, is this legal? And that goes back to the private property thing, right? Like that always just sends a chill down my spine, not for any kind of fear or anything like that, but just I wouldn't want people traipsing across my property, so I don't want to traipse across theirs. So
Exactly.
I really try and be aware of that, and it's not always signed, but, if you have to hop a barbed wire fence to get a geocache, maybe you're coming at it the wrong way. I don't know.
And maybe there's a bull in the field.
Maybe there's a reason there's a barbed wire fence. Yeah.
Put a geocache right under the no trespassing sign.
Well, I suppose if it's hanging on the outside of the fence line off the no trespassing sign, technically, I don't know.
You assume the fence line is the property line. It doesn't have to be. You could be on the property before you get to the fence.
I like what I was thinking afterwards. Should I have done that? Oh well, too late.
Oh,
That's funny.
There are times I look at it and go, it's just 10 feet across this property. But this isn't my property. I can't do this.
Yeah.
You see what Dora Moore posted in the Q&A?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Why doesn't it pop up for me?
I don't know.
Oh, hey, there it is. I stop and think, what would Land Monkey do? WWLMD.
There you go.
And then do the opposite.
Yeah, she didn't say she did it. But
Yeah. I need to step into this tree. Should I make a ladder for my husband?
Yeah. You see B. Pendragon here. If an idea makes you laugh for more than 5 seconds, it should be assumed that you shouldn't do it.
No. That's how you get great quality video.
It's true. And that's where you get all the interesting stories.
That's right. Should I get into this van with these other strangers?
oh, absolutely. What
Well,
could go wrong?
If they got backpacks, they have to be good people.
They look like fun. I don't see a shovel and a bag of lye.
Yes, but honey, but he's got a chainsaw.
Light.
Oh my goodness. That's funny. Hey, speaking of Back to the Future, which we're not, but we referenced it
You
earlier.
realize
An hour ago, yeah.
from today on, the entire Back to the Future storyline happens in the past.
That's right.
There you go. Did you get? Sorry, Dora Moore's Q&A comment just popped up as I was about to speak.
Are there banjos playing in your head?
Oh, that's funny.
They're dueling.
Go take a trip and see if that kid's learned a new banjo song yet.
Whenever I hear a white man with a banjo. Oh, sorry.
There you go. No, I was going to say, speaking of Back to the Future, Munzie, in our previous episode where we had Rob, my brain
V.
went for a moment there, Coach V, thank you, on the show, and he was saying, hey, get out there and deploy your greenies. We didn't know why, but we knew something was coming, and then Witsand, you made some sort of Back to the Future reference, and Rob did the, well, maybe. And so all the greenies yesterday on Back to the Future Day turned into hoverboards.
Ah.
And even if you had previously capped them, I think that's the right word, right? Scanned, capped, whatever. You could go and recap them again. So I actually went out with Wackadoodle, good friend of mine, last night, and we went for a nice stroll.
You have a Wackadoodle friend?
I do have a Wackadoodle friend. He's a Wackadoodle dandy.
Is he a stranger? Are you supposed to go out with him? Don't
I
get
actually
in the car
asked
with a
him if
Wackadoodle.
I was allowed to go out with him. I took Piggy, so I was safe.
Okay.
But yeah, we did a nice little walk around the neighborhood and scanned a metric buttload of hoverboards. So that was kind
Somewhere
of
in the neighborhood of 2015?
yeah. There you go.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, that was a neat idea. I thought that was really cool that Munzie did that. That allowed you to rescan greenies that you had scanned previously. Thought that's kind of neat.
For one day only.
For one day only.
But wait, see what else you get.
I like the comment I saw recently that said, I don't know why people are so upset that we don't have hoverboards in 2015 when clearly we should have had time machines in 1985.
Yeah. But well, one did. I was thinking about Halloween costumes, and I thought, a crazy gray wig and a yellow rain slicker
Yeah.
would make a good Halloween costume this year.
If
With
you
a Hawaiian shirt underneath, is that I think that would be the costume.
that sounds about right. It's because if you go back and watch, was it Jimmy Kimmel today that you showed me? They did a really nice segment on Jimmy Kimmel last night with both Michael J. Fox and a DeLorean, and they were in costume and in character. It was really good.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that. That sounds awesome.
That
You gotta come with me now. That's
You
awesome.
haven't invented flying cars? What have you been doing for 30 years?
No, we don't have flying cars. No, we don't have hoverboards. We've come up with the cronut, though.
Yeah.
Half croissant, half donut. Let's see. Frylang says stranger danger. Three-Ham says the hikers/strangers were younger than us, and given that three of us cachers all looked scruffy, they were rather brave or foolish to get in my van. And Wet Coaster says, are the others in the van stranger than you?
Well, whenever I'm driving my van, I've never had anybody in the van stranger than me. So
There you go.
All right. Hey,
The hoverboards were on for 2 days, the 20th and the 21st. Maybe they'll do it again for Groundhog's Day, says Wet Coaster.
maybe. Hey, next episode of Caching the Northwest. Boy, we're almost at Halloween already.
Mm-hmm.
Next Thursday. Do we have a guest lined up for that show?
I'm working to confirm John Robb from Cache at Night.
Very cool. So anybody who's still listening in, that would be pretty cool. That would be a night caching episode
Exactly.
for Halloween. Guys, you gonna dress up for the Halloween episode?
no.
Let's see.
No.
It's on the 29th, so that's 2 days off of Halloween. I'm wearing my mask now. How does it look?
Yeah.
And
Come on.
I saw him walk into the studio tonight. He is wearing pants tonight.
Okay, well that's like a costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something I don't normally wear, so there you go.
All right.
I don't know. We may do something. We'll see.
All right, so we'll make it a surprise for our listeners what we will or won't do next Thursday. But hopefully we will be able to confirm John and have Cache at Night. That would make a great episode.
Yeah, he's been traveling, so we need to make sure that he'll be home.
Perfect.
Tune in and find out.
Cool. All right.
Sorry.
Yep.
Dora Moore says, we exchanged hostages in Iceland so our group could get an Earth cache there. Hold on. And their group could complete some sort of Ingress mission. We gave them 2 cachers, and they left us 2 football-sized Ingress players. It was about as strange as it gets. And Dora Moore, you'll have to tell us if you're willing to come on the show. One of your fellow... one of the people who went on the trip with you is willing to come on the show to talk about it. Talked about the Earth Cache trip to Iceland. So
That would be cool.
that sounds so cool. I'm so jealous. I know that would be one of those places that you need to go before.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'd love to hear from both of them about their adventure. I've heard a little bit from Dora Moore about it and seen some of her photos, but I think that'd be great for everybody else who maybe hasn't had that pleasure of knowing somebody who went on that trip to hear about it, and they can think about future trips.
How about something around Christmas since it's ice themed?
Ooh.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Yesterday, this comes from Wet Coaster, the government of Canada had a recall notice for the DeLoreans that may have had a faulty flux capacitor. See Dr. Brown for repairs.
Oh, always bring a spare flux capacitor.
Debbie knew who I was referring to. She says, yes, I'll come on with Joy.
Awesome. Yay!
Let's see. B Pendragon says, go as Doc Brown. Ask everybody what day it is and yell, dang it, I overshot again.
Oh, for Halloween. That's awesome. Good one.
If my calculations are correct.
Hurry! All right. And with that, what do you think? Is it bedtime? Feels like bedtime.
Yeah.
Bedtime for
The
Bonzo.
Libyans are coming.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out in the Q&A. You guys are awesome. I can't believe people hang out this long in the Q&A just to hear us be silly.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about geocaching.
Probably better than the actual show.
I don't know what to say to that. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, folks, thanks so much. We will see you next week. Good night.
Sleep tight.